Hey everybody, I'm Seth Davis and welcome to Center for Healing Arts. In this episode, we are talking about chakras. We're going to go through the 7 main chakras and explain them in detail so that everybody can have an experience of what they are. And there are, when inwardly perceived, they are vividly colorful, the chakras. So in your meditations, when you're focusing on the chakras and you're working with the energies, you can see the colors in your mind, and as well as you can shift the focus of consciousness between chakras. So if you're talking a lot and you feel like you're stuck in the throat chakra, you can actually consciously move down into the heart chakra or the crown chakra. So that's how I began to work with my chakras, is if I felt that my presence was in one of the chakras, I would just work on moving my consciousness up or down one chakra to begin with. So I learned how to manipulate and move the energies around with that, moving one level at a time. But it's possible to move. We know that humans can have the highest of divine thoughts and within 1 second be thinking the lowest of the low thoughts. So that's how humans are. In 1 second they can be in divine bliss, and in another second they're thinking a low thought. So it takes a lot of practice with these things. They're all over the place. And the electromagnetic grids of the earth and everything are what they are. So we need to be sensitive to that. But we're going to learn about that. We'll talk about that a little bit later. Today we're just going to give the description of the 7 chakras. So when awareness flows through any one or more of these regions, the various function of consciousness operates, such as memory, reason, and willpower. The physical body has a connection to each of the 7 higher chakras through plexuses of nerves along the spinal cord and in the cranium. As the Kundalini force of awareness travels along the spine, it enters each of these chakras and energizes them, and awakening in turn each function. So the Kundalini stimulates the chakras. By examining the functions of these great force centers, we can clearly cognize our own position on the spiritual path and better understand our fellow humanity. So this is talking about the proprioception. Proprioception is the ability to tell where you are in time and space. There are literally cells at the end of nerves which are called proprioceptors, muscle spindle fiber cells, they're called. But scientists have found that those particular cells are the actual point in space where the body, the physical body ends, and the etheric or the astral body or the energy body begins. And these little proprioception cells are what's communicating between these different dimensions. So if your proprioception is off, it means if your body is medially rotated, or there's some issue with balance or something like that in a person's body, in the homeostasis of a person's body, it means that their proprioception is probably going to be off. So that means that, for example, 2 people can be standing on a corner and observe an auto accident and have 2 different stories about what happened during the accident. That's proprioception. That's what gives us our ability to tell where we are in time and space. So it's really important to have proper spacing in the body. That means proper spacing between the musculature, the skeletal system, the internal organs, the fascial sheaths, the nerve centers, the lymph system, the spinal column, all needs to be in a nice balance in order for the body to feel comfortable. That means no pain. So that's why chakras are important, because that is what is energizing all of this. Without this Kundalini and chakra system, you're not going to be able to feel anything, and you will not have a body. So a body is very important because it's the container that the soul fits into, the Atma fits into that. And so we just want it to be running smoothly. It's kind of like an automobile. Automobile has many systems, electrical, transmission, all that stuff. So each system has to be functional. It needs lubrication, it needs oil. In the body's case, it's a cerebral spinal fluid. All right, the first chakra, Muladhara. It's at the base of the spine, and that's the memory center of that chakra. It's at the base of the spine, okay? So it creates a consciousness of time through the powers of memory. Whenever we go back in our memory patterns, we are using the forces of the Muladhara. It has 4 petals, or 4 aspects, one of which governs memories of past lives. The other 3 contain compiled memory patterns and interrelated karma of this life. This chakra is associated also with human qualities of individuality, egoism, physicality, including sexuality, materialism, and dominance. A person lives predominantly in this chakra during the first 7 years of life, acquiring language skills, relationships, and cultural ways. So it's a basic primordial energy system. Takes a little practice to have control of that. The second chakra, Svadhisthana. Once the ability to remember has been established, the natural consequence is reason. So you remember and then you think about it. And from reason evolves intellect. Reason is the manipulation of memorized information. We categorize it, we edit it, we rearrange it, and then we store the results. We love to compartmentalize things as humans. People in this 6-petaled chakra research, explore, wonder, why me? They propose theories and formulate rational explanations. They often form a rigid intellectual mind based on opinional knowledge and accumulated memory, reinforced by habitual patterns of the instinctive mind. It is in this chakra that the majority of people live and think and worry and travel on the astral plane. We open naturally into this chakra between the ages of 8 and 14. This center controls the Muladhara chakra, as does each progressively higher chakra controls that below it. The third one, Manapura, the third chakra, is represented in the central nervous system by the solar plexus, where all nerves merge to form the second brain. It has 10 petals, 5 facing up and 5 facing down. Correspondingly, depending on how the energy is flowing, the forces of willpower from this chakra add power either to worldly consciousness through the first 2 centers, or to spiritual consciousness through the 4th and 5th centers. So that's saying that the Manapura chakra works with the other chakras around it, and it's sending its willpower to those chakras. So it's kind of manipulating those a little bit. And its purpose is to raise the consciousness of the lower chakras and to contribute to the higher chakras in their work. So it supports the higher and it contributes to the lower. When awareness is confined to the realms of memory, so when the awareness is confined to the realms of memory, reason, and aggressive willpower, men and women will be instinctive in nature. They are quick to react and retaliate, quick to have their feelings hurt, and quick to pursue the conquest of others while fearing their own defeat. So this is describing the animal qualities of man. The animalistic qualities of man must be purified in the fire of sacred, right, spiritual passage. So the animalistic qualities need to be purified with right action, righteous action, dharmic ways, in order to be able to have mastery over the lower realms. People from the ages of 14 to 21 discover willpower, willfulness, individuality, and as this third chakra unfolds. So as you get older, it gets more developed naturally. So It doesn't, if you've not developed in that, it doesn't mean anything, because it will happen naturally, organically, when it's the right time for you anyway. So don't let anyone tell you that you're not good or something, or you haven't done enough work, because all those things happen naturally in accordance with divine will. So be patient. Number 4, Anuhata, the center of perception and insight, is often referred to as the lotus of the heart. Its 12 petals imply that cognition can be expressed in 12 distinct ways or through as many masks or persona. So this is saying that people can be many different ways. People have many different characteristics or personalities, and this is the chakra that works with that. For example, if you're with your mom, you're the son or daughter. If you're with your son or daughter, you're the mother or father. If I'm with a patient, I'm the therapist and they're the patient. If I'm at the doctor's the doctor and I'm the patient. So we have all these different characters within us, and we all act them out all the time, every day. When I go home, I'm a husband. When I'm at, you know what I mean? So that's how it goes. So that's the chakra that goes for that. These kinds of people have deep understanding of human nature, which brings tolerance and an innate ability to help others, to resolve conflicts and confusions. And this happens between maybe the ages of 21 and 28. Perceptions deepen and understanding matures. And for those who enter this chakra, many people regress back into reason and memory. That means that, your memory and consciousness can go up or down depending on a lot of things: your environment, your diet, your stress levels, all that kind of thing. And so that's why we're talking about this, so a person can have understanding about how to keep those energies up and be feeling really good in this time. Many people, they regress back in memory, or they maybe forget who they are, or it might be a process. If awareness is mature and the person has incarnated many, many times and they're well trained throughout those lifetimes, it's possible that in youth they're able to proceed smoothly into this chakra of consciousness. So old souls have done this before many times. 5th chakra, Vishuddha, universal or divine love, is the faculty expressed by the Vishuddha Chakra. Whenever people feel filled with inexpressible love for kinship, their family, mankind, their brothers and sisters, animals, creatures, they're vibrating within this 16 petals, Vishuddha. When deeply immersed in this state, there is no consciousness of being a person with emotions, no consciousness of thought. One is just simply being the light. You're simply existing in this chakra. The exceptional soul who resides fully in this center usually ranges between the ages of 28 to 35, is able to, for the first time, to withdraw the awareness totally into the spine, into the Sushumna, the central spiritual current. Ultimately, human realizes that the inner being is the reality of themselves. So that's saying in this chakra, you come to the realization that the self is the light of man. The self is the eternal, omnipotent, all-seeing energy. It's the self. All of these programs, meditations, yogas, galactic federations, gurus, all of these programs, in the end, make a complete circle back to the self is the light of man. The 6th chakra, Ajna, the 6th force center, is called Ajna. It's the third eye, the center of divine sight and direct cognition. Of its 2 petals or 2 facets, one is the ability to look into the lower worlds and state of mind, and the other is the perception of the higher worlds or the spiritual states of consciousness. It therefore is the connecting link, allowing the awakened soul to relate to the higher consciousness, to the lowest in a uniform vision. We open naturally into this chakra between the ages of 35 and 42. So that's saying that after you have started to have remembrance of the self, now you're starting to go into perceptions of other higher worlds and spiritual states, other dimensions, if you will. The seventh chakra, the seventh center at the top of the head. It's actually a little bit above the top of the head. It's not on the head, it's just above it. It's called the Crown Chakra. According to the ancient mystics, it governs 1008 shining, golden, white, crystal clear white light shining through the circumference of the golden soul body. Here the soul dissolves even blissful visions of light and is immersed in pure space, pure awareness, pure being. When the door of God opens through this chakra, there are some nadis connecting to this chakra, and it can stimulate it to open. So like a door opening, it can connect to divine will. You know, there's a downside to this too. Sometimes people get stuck in this chakra and they just start reliving past memories and old experiences, good and bad alike. Sometimes they just keep processing those over and over and over. So you have to be disciplined about this chakra. Don't get stuck in the memories of it, but move forward into the cosmic connection. And don't utilize the golden years to manifest higher chakra faculties of low energies. Use it as a force to create the vibrations of love and light and inner vision and God realization through servants, sadhana, pilgrimage, worship, and meditation. Okay, everybody, these are the first 7 chakras. There are other chakras that exist higher and lower than the first 7. In another video, I'm going to go through the 8 through 15 chakras, as well as some other very interesting information about the lower regions of the sub-muladhara chakra region. Thanks everybody for being with us today, and we appreciate you. If you like this sort of thing, please hit the like and subscribe button, as well as the notifications bell. God bless and Godspeed.